I'm kind of behind here navigating everything. If you're new to the live desk, it's pretty cool, really innovative. All these screens behind me, we're taking a look at different things happening in our area. Could be the city, the county, the state, nationwide, even worldwide, depending on what's going on. So what we're going to do is just see what's happening throughout the day and just bring you some things that are going on live and just kind of go along the journey with me today. Bear with me, but there's lots of fun stuff going on throughout the day and also a lot of informative things that are happening. We're going to talk about several different things, but I do want to get started. Well, I think we have our Jason Calvi out now. As you know, what's been happening with the courts are really serious right now in immigration. Milwaukee County's Chief Justice said he's working now on a policy about immigration agents in the courthouse. Now, this is coming after the arrest of a Milwaukee County judge. So we are learning the newest and latest with that happening. So if Jason is ready, let's take a quick look and see what he's up to. So Jason, I'm going to raise your mic a little bit and just perhaps give me an update on what you are working on a little bit today. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good morning, Derica. Yeah, the whole nation's been watching what happened, and this particular hallway, this is Judge Dugan's courtroom right here. It's in the Milwaukee County Courthouse, and April 18th, the FBI alleges in a complaint that they were here outside of the courtroom to arrest somebody who was inside that courtroom. That person was, they said, here in the country illegally. He was facing in the county courthouse a charge of domestic abuse. So he had one of his hearings inside that courthouse. Outside, there were federal immigration agents as well as FBI agents assisting as well, waiting for him to come out to arrest. They did notify the bailiff inside the courtroom that they were here for that arrest to take place after the court hearing. But the judge was notified about this by, according to the criminal complaint, by another attorney. She, according to the criminal complaint, came out into this hallway, and according to the complaint, the FBI agents alleged that she was very angry with them and told them they couldn't do what they were planning to do. They asked, according to the complaint, she asked that those agents go down this hallway here. That's where the Chief Judge Carl Ashley's offices are. And so they asked that the FBI agents go down and talk with the Chief Judge of Milwaukee County, Carl Ashley. Well, lo and behold, there was still one agent out here. All of the agents, according to the criminal complaint, were in civilian clothes. They weren't wearing uniforms. They weren't wearing badges, wearing police attire. They were in civilian clothes. And so the criminal complaint says one agent actually was able to stay out here. Wasn't identified as a federal agent, and so he didn't go to talk to the chief judge. He waited out here. And then what the criminal complaint alleges is that Judge Dugan, Milwaukee County judge, went back into her courtroom and then, according to the criminal complaint, helped this person who was facing the domestic abuse allegation, as well as federal agents say that he was in the country illegally. According to criminal complaint, the judge helped him leave this courtroom through a jury door, a door that is not accessible to the general public. And then I'm going to just move the camera a little bit here. Eddie's our great photojournalist working with us today on this live shot. And so then this is that public hallway that at some point depending on which door the jury door led to, the defendant was able to leave the building through this hallway, this public hallway, but through that private doorway, the jury door. And so that's where the criminal complaint alleges that the judge helped this person escape arrest. This defendant was able to then leave the building, leave the courthouse, exit on to the main outside the door there where there's the big flagpoles. If you've ever driven down here, you know that main area outside the courthouse where there's the flagpoles. And it's there then that the FBI agents or the immigration agents, the federal agents, were able to call his name. They say at that point that the defendant ran away because that's what they allege, and they did chase him and then finally arrested him. So now that was April 18th. Then this last Friday, the federal agents, the FBI agents, came back to the courthouse and arrested Judge Hannah Dugan. So that's gained national attention here. She had an initial appearance in federal court, and she is facing those allegations in federal court. So we're going to follow that as it's working its way through the federal courthouse. for what happened in the county courthouse right here in Milwaukee County. Derica?
All right, Jason, thanks for the information, and also just a quick look inside the hallways of the courtroom. Not many of us get a chance to see what the proximity is like and what kind of happened. We can visualize it in our minds now. I do have a quick question, though. I understand that Wisconsin's former Republican Governor Scott Walker is saying that the legislature should remove Dugan. We understand that Bob Donovan's speaking out. But then I also understand that there were supporters out there yesterday as well. Can you talk to me a little bit about what the scene was like when you arrived today and what's perhaps next for both sides in this quest?
We'll start with the scene. I mean, it's pretty quiet here, Derica. You saw the shot down the hallway that way. There's not a lot of people in this particular hallway, and I want to show you Judge Dugan's doorway actually for her courtroom because there's a sign on the door right here, and it says those folks. We'll get focused here. This is live TV here, but those folks who have 1:30 or 2 o'clock cases today should go down the hall to Judge Yang's room, which is 625, so the same floor of the courthouse. And those folks who have 3 or 4 p.m. cases today should go to another room, 506 of the safety building, with another judge. So you can see we've seen, talking to the chief judge here, Carl Ashley, he has appointed a reserve judge to handle the cases of Judge Dugan. Right now, she's not going to be hearing these cases as she's working with her own federal criminal matter. But we also see, according to that sign, that there are other judges in this county that are going to be covering some of the cases here for Judge Dugan as she deals with her own criminal matter in federal court.
And obviously, Jason, I know we're going to wait until later on in May for her day in court, but apparently, public opinion is going on right now. Some saying that she was supporting someone who was supposedly here illegally, here for some dangerous crimes, while others feeling as though she was saying people need to do their due process. You're kind of hearing that just from layman people as well.
Yeah, and you'd mentioned, there's been 4 days of protests. So the arrest happened on Friday. There were protests over the weekend. There was another gathering of Forward Latino outside the courthouse yesterday. They're really raising their voices and saying that this space, this county courthouse, is to be respected. People have due process. They need to be able to go have their court cases heard by the judge. And so there is a worry from those who are critical of this arrest. Those who are supportive of the arrests, like you mentioned the name of State Representative Bob Donovan, he says what the judge did was reprehensible. The former Republican Governor Scott Walker, he tweeted out on X, or messaged out social media post on X, the former website known as Twitter. He posted that the legislature should act to remove Judge Dugan from office. That is something that the legislature has the power to do. They have a couple options. They could impeach, they could remove from office. But when I talked with that was what Governor Walker suggested on X. But when I talked with Republicans yesterday, they said, "Hey, wait a while. I mean, you can't immediately go to impeachment." They want to see, as Bob Donovan, State Representative Bob Donovan said, he wants to see this case play out, see how it plays out in court, and then from there, potentially see what the options are. But they want to see that case play out, which again, we're still in the very initial stages of this federal court case down the road at the federal courthouse.
All right, Jason, I know you have a lot of work to do, so I'm going to let you go, but I have one quick question. I always look to you for all things that have to do with politics. So the judge's side, I feel like some families, regardless of their status, have a little trepidation now going into the courthouse with the sensitive nature of what's going on with these agents. Do we have an idea of when the judge could hope, I know he said soon, have this policy maybe when it comes to what's going to happen?
Yeah, so when I talked with the chief judge yesterday, Carl Ashley, he told me he is working on a policy regarding how exactly this court building should handle federal immigration agents inside of it. So I asked him, how close are you to finishing that? He says he hopes to finish it. He said hopefully soon, but he didn't have a rough timeline for exactly when, or even gave me any timeline for when he expects that to be, other than hopefully soon is what he said. I also asked the county executive, David Crowley, about that timeline. He said, again, they want to get this done right and correct, and that might not necessarily be as quickly as some people would like to see. But some of the common aspects that I'm hearing from people when we're talking about what this policy is going to look like is, look at this place where I'm sitting right now, it's a public hallway. Yeah. this, people have rights to be here. It's a public building. This is your courthouse. This is our courthouse. This is the people's courthouse. So people have the right to be here, and that includes federal agents. So this is the public hallway. This is where those agents were hoping to arrest that gentleman, and ended up happening outside the courthouse after they had a little chase outside the courthouse as well. So the question is going to be, laying out the public areas here. What is the best place to do these arrests, potentially to do them maybe in a quieter area, maybe down but all those are going to be worked out. That's what this process is, where they're working on putting that policy together. But I know a lot of people are really waiting for that policy to come out. They're going to try to share it with the community, share it with the immigration agents as well, so everybody kind of knows what the policy is in this courthouse here in Milwaukee County. That's getting national attention because of what happened here on Friday.
Sure is. All right, Jason, thank you for staying on top of that for us. And of course, taking a moment for the live desk. We'll look for your stories a little later on in FOX6 News. Thanks again, Jason.
Thanks, Derica.
All right, that was a really helpful update right now on kind of what's going on as he's in the middle of the courthouse. More at Wisconsin Live Desk coming up. We're going to take a quick little break. We'll be right back.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
All right, welcome back to Wisconsin Live Desk, 12:43 right now. We are live on the desk here from 12:30 to 1:30 every single day. And every single day, it's something new. So behind me, we have a whole bunch of different cameras and different feeds tapping into some of our reporters and anchors who are out in the fields. We also get a look to see what's going on in different cities across the country and even things that are happening worldwide. So sometimes we'll just see something. If you see something, say something. That's how I feel, right? If you see something over my shoulder, you're like, what's that? Send me a message. This is just really interactive, just kind of informal, just a live look. We're learning together as we're seeing what's going on throughout the country, just learning what's going on. Let's take a quick look right now and see if there's anything that looks a little bit interesting that we want to tap into. I know we have a couple of things going on later on today. Let's take a look right now and see what's on our router 3. It looks like they are in one of these buildings in Washington, D.C. We are waiting for it. This looks like the Senate leader stakeout right now that's going on. So I'm not really sure what's going to be happening here. So we're waiting to see someone pop up. We've been watching this actually for a little bit. If you bear with me, I can give a little moment and see what's popping up. Okay. You know what? Actually, I want to go to something else right now. This is the cool thing about me being behind the wheels here. We can do what we want to do. All right, we're going to go to this. I believe this is in San Francisco right now. It looks like a press conference. Let's just take a little listen in and see what's going on here.
Attack on any one group of workers is an attack on all workers. Organizing together, side by side, make us stronger in fighting back against oppression, against treason, and against corporate greed. This lawsuit is about the solidarity with the thousands upon thousands of federal workers impacted by the White House callous and chaotic actions to reshape our federal government, making the America we know unrecognizable. Our federal workforce plays such an important role in making our government work every day. Whether it's making sure that our retirees receiving their Social Security benefits, providing life-saving medical and scientific research, helping to prevent the spread of infectious diseases, or, and personally, very important to me, providing critical services and care to our veterans. What DOGE is doing is more than just chaotic, it's really dangerous. What was sold as efficiency is actually cruelty and harm, and this senseless breakdown of our federal government's function must be stopped immediately. And I want to thank our County Counsel, Tony LaPresti, and San Francisco City Attorney, David Chu, and the legal teams that are bringing this litigation forward. This is the only recourse we have to put a stop to this illegal activity. The federal government's current staffing mess has direct impacts on our ability at a local level to serve our communities every day. And I want to acknowledge my fellow Board of Supervisors members who are here today, Betty Young, and I'm so thankful to serve alongside them as part of a board that cares about the people and good government. We strive to be a model for successful local government, but we can't do that in a vacuum. We can't do that alone. We depend on the state government and also the federal government to be our partners to serve our community. 30% of our county's budget comes from federal funding. And so when DOGE and the OMB put forward funding freezes or try to cut federal funding at such a massive scale, we at the local level will feel the impacts very, very sharply. It's gonna really hurt. Everything coming out of the White House to reshape the federal institutions is going to have major impacts on us right here in Santa Clara County and the entire Bay Area. There's ripple effects, and that will get worse as it spreads. As a 28-year Navy veteran myself, I especially think about our veterans who are impacted significantly by these cuts. You see, 30% of our federal workforce are actually veterans. So when you are proposing to cut 80,000 federal employees who work at the Veterans Affairs Administration, VA, almost 20% of that workforce, this is going to be catastrophic. Already, 2,400 VA staff have been fired, and more than 6,000 veterans have been removed.
Okay, that was just a little dip in there. I just wanted to see what he was talking about, right? Apparently that was the attorney from Santa Clara, the city attorney right there, just talking about some of the impacts of what is happening with the Trump administration. So we could just check back in there in a little bit. I feel like the weather today, if you could see my hair right now, I tried to do something with it, but it keeps going like this and like this. I want to talk about that a little bit with Steph when she pops in, because we had a lot of storms. And the end of April, it got so humid that it felt like it was like summer, Steph. So if you're back there, let's share a little bit about what we're seeing today. And then also, you and I were sharing, looking at some video that was pretty insane, I think from Altoona.
Yeah, we have a camera, Derica. We have this camera network across the globe that we have access to now, and new cameras are popping up all over Wisconsin as of late, which is really nice. We have a camera now in Altoona that we have access to, which is not too far from the Eau Claire area. And yesterday, Eau Claire was one of the spots that, or near Eau Claire, I should say, one of the spots that dealt with tornado-warned storms. And there was an official confirmed tornado on the ground in southern Eau Claire County near Augusta, if that maybe rings a bell, or Falls Creek, kind of in that area, if you're more familiar with northwestern Wisconsin. And the camera that we showed from Altoona just, didn't show the actual tornado, but it showed what was a pretty strong storm. Very high wind, heavy rainfall. Again, it just goes to show that some of the storms that northern and western Wisconsin saw yesterday afternoon and evening, decent storms. Now, this is a look at storm reports, more so just wind as well as tornado reports across the state of Wisconsin, as well as out west in Minnesota. So here's that one report there from around that Augusta area, southern Eau Claire County, and then there were a few more across southern Minnesota as well. Now, the National Weather Service, we have not received any information just yet, but the National Weather Service in the Twin Cities, that's their area to survey, they are out right now. They have two separate teams that are surveying the damage reported in southern Eau Claire County. And worth mentioning too, we just received some video from a viewer of that tornado. The cyclogenesis is what we call it, when it basically just develops from start to finish. It's pretty cool. I'll try to get that up here shortly. But there was a debris signature that we showed that, we call it correlation coefficient. I got to remember all these terms. It's been a while, right? But that picks up on debris that's being lofted, and that's one of the ways we confirm that a tornado is actually on the ground. But there were also eyes on that storm too. But again, so two different survey teams from the National Weather Service in the Twin Cities out surveying in Minnesota as well as in southern Eau Claire County. I'm going to step off the screen real quick because I do want to show you that video. It is pretty awesome, and meteorologist Lisa Michaels just got all of this set up. Again, this is from a viewer obviously outside of our area, but we've gotten the permission to actually show this. This is pretty incredible, Derica. I was going to show this at 4 o'clock, but lucky you guys, you get to see it right now. Breaking news, if you will. This is that cell. This is just incredible, and it'll loop again so you can kind of see the start to finish, but this is off in the distance, and you can clearly see that funnel. Now, technically hard to tell from this video if it actually touches the ground, but we do know from other sources that it did in fact touch the ground. And so as this is looping again, you can start to see what is a very little wall cloud here, and then eventually a little lowering, and then it makes its way into its funnel. There you go. It happens really quickly. That's why we try to get on air as soon as these tornado warnings are actually issued, because we know, especially here in southeast Wisconsin, how quick some of these spin-ups can be. But so again, this is one of the areas that's going to be surveyed right now, is being surveyed right now by the National Weather Service. And here locally, Derica, you talked about your hair. Man, I was wondering why it was so hard to do my hair this morning. Dew points earlier were a lot higher, but thankfully since then, cold front has passed. They are dropping, and it's actually very pleasant outside at the moment.
All right, Steph, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for those dew points, right? My hair, not so much. All right, Steph, thanks. I do want to take a quick look. This is pretty cool. This is a chopper out there. I believe this is Minnesota. Taking a look. I said it like I'm from here. Minnesota. No. All right. This is pretty cool. We're just taking a look right now as this helicopter is going over the plains over there. It's making me think about the grass and the lawn. The Zoological Society actually just sent out a little something saying that many folks are doing a slow-mo May in the next couple of days. They're not necessarily doing the no-mo May anymore, just kind of like a slow-mo May, which is basically, spring flowers are starting to bloom, the bumblebees in certain species, which are endangered by their, we lost it. But back to the slow-mo May. They're basically saying that slow-mo May is now no-mo May. The messaging still remains the same. They want people to not mow as much as you can right now. I know it's hard with all the rain we're getting. Things are kind of sprouting up a lot. But planting native plants or eliminating pesticides, that could be helpful as we inch into May as well. So just slowing down your spring clearing just a little bit. I know it's been hard with this weather to not want to get out there and do some of that lawn things. But we're going to take a little break right now from the weather, and we're going to see what's popping up over here when we come right back. Thanks.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
All right, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. I'm Derica Williams, kind of running the controls here. Yes, they give me controls. This is what I can do. So what I'm doing today is I'm kind of picking to see what's going on around the country, the city, and there's a lot of interesting things. I want to get right out into this right here. It looked like we were coming from Philly. Let me drop that CG right there. We were taking a quick look. It seemed as though, okay, well, that's gone. No worries. We'll pop on back to me. But if you're just joining us right now, I'm just kind of bopping through these images behind me. There is a lot of press conferences that are going on all across the country, our city. We have some reporters out there right now, things even worldwide that we are learning about in this live desk. We're learning about them as they happen. So we're just kind of taking a journey through journalism. That's how I'm feeling. So let's just take a quick look and see what's going on behind us and see what we can dip into right now. I think I was looking at this before. Oh, it's not up. Give me a second. I'm going to punch it up. Just like that. Pick it up. This was a helicopter that we were just looking at. Let's see if we can pull that up on router 2. So they're surveying some damage. This is in Minnesota. I know we just heard from Stephanie a short while ago. There were some perhaps heavy storms in Altoona. I believe that's in Eau Claire County. We had just showed some video of that. Lots of lightning, debris it almost looked like. So I think they have the National Weather Service out there today surveying that. So Stephanie's going to break that down a little bit more later today. But in Minnesota as well, those storms kind of ripped through the Midwest area the past, I would say 24 hours, depending on where you were. All right, well, we dropped that. I guess I'm going to drop it too and come on back. All right, let's take another look. I feel like this is a roll of the die today, right? It's a little slow, but we're going to work with it. Oh, let's go back to that live net. If we can pull that up in the producer room. This was what I was talking about. If you could see it right here. If we could pull that up on live now. Well, I think I just turned off the button. Let's just do this for me. Router 2. Nope, I propped the button, wrong button. Is this playing tricks on me today, guys? I think so. All right. Sorry. Well, while this is up, I might as well explain what this is. This is the Senate stakeout. We've been waiting here for a little bit, at least since the live desk started at 12:30 to see who was going to pop out and share some statements, but nothing yet. This is, hold on a quick second. You see this just like I'm seeing this live right now. I turned off the computer by accident, but stand by. Oh, I just moved the screen. That's okay. All right. Taking a look here. I'm going to move this whole section, actually. This employee strike is going on underway in LA. Wow. We're going to learn more about this because I feel like this is going to grow this afternoon. So let's take a break from this, and I'm going to get some more details because I feel like this is something really interesting that I want to bring to you guys. So stand by, and we're going to get some more information on that. It looked like some strike was going on in LA. Lots of people filling the streets, so we will be right back with some more information on that.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. All afternoon between 12:30 to 1:30, we're just kind of dipping in to see what's happening across our area, the city, the state, even nation and worldwide. Really quickly, I want to go out to this. This is the MCTS about to launch its first coach bus mechanic and operator apprenticeship in Wisconsin. Let's take a listen.
Federal funding that we rely upon.
Shortage of bus operators and mechanics. We need our apprentices to help us operate and repair nearly 400 buses that take people to work and elsewhere across Milwaukee County. In 2024, MCTS saw a 13% increase in ridership, totaling 25 million rides. That's an incredible achievement and a sign of the growing importance of public transit in our community. And as president of the Wisconsin Public Transportation Association, I can tell you that this is part of a statewide trend. Ridership is increasing all across Wisconsin, and we need a well-trained workforce to meet that demand. The new coach bus mechanic and operator apprenticeship programs are a major step towards building that workforce. And the impact goes beyond this workplace. This program will positively affect families of every participant. Take Sharika Thomas. Hey Sharika, for example. She joined MCTS as a bus cleaner and tanker in 2017 in order to provide for her family. And now as a coach bus mechanic apprentice, Sharika not only earns while she learns, but as a mechanic apprentice, she will get the tools she needs to succeed. So if you can see this 200-pound plus toolbox that's valued at over $4,000. It's an investment many prospective mechanics aren't able to make, but this apprenticeship removes that barrier. Each mechanic apprentice will get their own toolbox. It's really awesome. And Sharika's on-the-job learning opens the door to long-term stability. And upon graduation, she will become an A-level mechanic. That's our top level. It took nearly 4 years to get these apprenticeships off the ground and is the work of a very special, dedicated team who I'd like to thank today. First, I want to start with our Chief Human Resources Officer at MCTS, Ben Stark. Ben, thank you very much. You've been instrumental. He's been very instrumental in helping us navigate this process. I would also like to thank the Amalgamated Transit Union, or ATU. Without the ATU, these programs wouldn't be possible. I do want to thank Bruce Friedman, Mike Brown, and Donnell Shorter, who will leave soon. And also ATU's Jermaine Gibson, who's the Director of Apprenticeship and Workforce Programs for ATU. The partnership has been just wonderful. In addition, I'd like to thank our training departments in both our transportation and maintenance teams, who played a pivotal role in bringing these apprenticeships to life. There cannot be apprenticeships without mentor trainers. Thank you. And finally, I'd like to thank our key partner, the state's Department of Workforce Development. It's my pleasure to introduce someone whose leadership in workforce development is helping to shape the future of apprenticeships across our state, and a friend of mine, Secretary Amy Pahacek.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Julie. It's truly an honor to be here today on the eve of what Governor Tony Evers proclaimed as Apprenticeship Day here in the great state of Wisconsin. Apprenticeship Day is to celebrate Wisconsin's leadership in apprenticeship. We were the first state in the nation to have a registered apprenticeship program starting all the way back in 1911. And Wisconsin continues to serve as the national model with our key secret ingredient, our special sauce, so they say, which is our Earn While You Learn requirement. So Apprenticeship Day is also intended to raise awareness of the vital role that apprenticeships play as a tool in our workforce solutions toolbox. This model supports and strengthens the pipeline of skilled workers for jobs that are not only in demand right now, as we heard about our mechanics and bus operators here, but also helps us build a workforce prepared to meet the demands of tomorrow. And speaking of preparing for tomorrow, I'm excited to announce that we again, here in the great state of Wisconsin, broke our record. This is for the third year in a row for youth apprenticeship participants, with 11,344 high school participants in the 2024-2025 school year, which is more than a 14% increase year over year. So congratulations to everyone. Woo! And an increasing number of our youth apprenticeship participants are taking the leap and choosing to join the ranks of registered apprenticeships like the apprentices that we are celebrating here today. And through the power of apprenticeship, we are helping make our economy, our communities, and our families stronger as these pathways lead to family supporting careers and continued advancement. So to everyone here, thank you for your partnership in helping create this opportunity for our first ever group of bus operator and mechanic apprentices. And as Julie indicated, it has been several years in the making. I want to give a special shout out to the ATU Local 998 for your advocacy of the program and to the continued support of your members, and of course to MCTS for being an employer of choice and truly leading the way in this program. And you know, all of our apprentices here today are in good company. They are among thousands of up and coming skilled workers who start their apprenticeship journey each year. So along with our continued record-breaking growth, I'm thrilled about the variety of apprenticeship programs that we continue to break records in here also in the state of Wisconsin, which just proves that the adaptability of apprenticeship is one of the greatest assets as we continue to grow our state's world-class workforce. We currently have more than 200 registered apprenticeship programs, including opportunities in emerging fields like transportation. We all know how critical that is, as well as things like healthcare, IT, and education. And the apprenticeship model truly works in Wisconsin thanks to the engagement of our Apprenticeship Council, thousands of employers like Milwaukee County and Milwaukee County Transit System, our labor unions, our technical colleges, our on-site mentors and trainers, and of course to our apprentices themselves. So I'm in closing, I just want to directly address all of our esteemed apprentices here today. Thank you for having trust in us and in your employer who's here to support you. And most of all, thank you for trusting in yourself to take this journey towards greater economic opportunity and professional growth. So thank you. The sky's the limit. Your future is bright. Congratulations. And now it is truly my honor to turn the mic over to our fabulous Milwaukee County executive and my friend, David Crawley.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all feeling out there? I know it's a little cooler compared to yesterday, but I'm glad that we are all here. And thank you so much for that introduction, Secretary. I'm really excited to be here at the Milwaukee County Transit System because we are celebrating another first for Milwaukee County, and that is our Coach Bus Mechanic and Bus Operator Apprenticeship Program. Now, this is going to bring new opportunities to our workforce and help us continue to move Milwaukee County's economy forward. And if many of you have heard me talk about the fact that I am the son of a retired electrician, and so I truly believe in the apprenticeship programs and believe that registered apprenticeships in particular is a proven solution when it comes down to recruiting, to training, and retaining our top transportation talent or talent in general. And so I think this is a shining example of how public transit is continuously bringing more opportunities to our community. It's how people get to work. It's how students get to school. It's also how families reach their medical care appointments, their grocery stores, their recreational opportunities, their loved ones, but also just getting around the entire county to see all the things that we have to offer. But our Milwaukee County Transit System is doing more than that. It's also now how our workforce learns. It's how they're gaining mentors and preparing people for long-term solid career paths within the Milwaukee County Transit System. And simply put, when you think about public transit, this is an essential way of life, not just here in Milwaukee, but across our entire country. And across our entire country, we've seen many transit agencies who have been facing major workforce challenges. And according to the American Public Transportation Association, 92% of agencies are struggling with hiring, and 66% are facing retention issues. And much of this has been stemming due to the pandemic. But this is one of the reasons why I have to say congratulations to our wonderful team at the Milwaukee County Transit System for doing what they can to really step up and meet the moment, meet the demands that we are facing every single day. I'm struggling to get this thing out of here. But through the partnership with the Department of Workforce Development and by seeking grant funding through the Wisconsin's Fast Forward grant, MCTS is taking proactive steps to strengthen our workforce, creating job opportunities that support our economic growth and assure a strong future for public transportation services all throughout Milwaukee County. And before I leave, I just have to say that this is the type of collaboration that helps to move us forward, that we have to continue to build upon, because it helps to benefit not just those who are utilizing these transit services to get to where they're going, but it helps to provide more opportunities for our community as it relates to economic development. So I just want to say thank you to the team, thank you to our partners, and thank you to all of you for being here supporting this. And so now I'd like to introduce and welcome another longtime public transit advocate and most recently a 2025 Milwaukee Business Journal Woman of Influence, and that is our Director of our Milwaukee County Department of Transportation, Ms. Donna Brown.
Families here.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm Donna Brown Martin, Director of the Milwaukee County Department of Transportation, and today we are proud to launch the state's first bus mechanic and operator apprenticeship program on the 50th anniversary of MCTS. We are proud to advance Milwaukee County's public transit system and to help ensure its success over the next 50 years. It takes an innovative, first-of-its-kind program such as this to keep Milwaukee County moving forward. Thank you to the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development for their efforts to guide, register, and promote this program. We are also appreciative of our partnership with ATU, Local 998, who understands the value of learning opportunities and professional development. Working together, we will help ensure the success of these employees. We are grateful to our mechanics and bus operators who together play a vital role in moving public transit forward. Without a qualified workforce, the people of Milwaukee County might not get to work. No matter who you are, someone you rely on relies on public transit. Nurses, baristas, students, daycare workers rely on the mechanics who handle the major mechanical repairs, brake and body work for more than 370 of our buses, all to keep Milwaukee County residents moving forward. And our 700 bus operators served 25 million rides last year across 19 municipalities. Yeah, please. That's awesome. Let's remember that there can be no apprentices without dedicated, qualified mentors. So I recognize the mentor trainers who stepped up to offer on-the-job learning. They are the motivation and inspiration behind your next bus ride. I would like to introduce now to you Donnell Shorter, who will speak on behalf of our partners at Amalgamated Transit Union, Local 998. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Hello. I would also like to thank President Bruce Freeman from ATU for being here in the support of this program, and also Mike Brown. Internationally, we have a president. His name is John Costa. He's over 256 locals, representing about 1,000 properties and 200,000 transit workers. This is the 85th apprenticeship and mentorship program that ATU has kicked off. So we've been doing this for a while. It was nationwide. We recognized there was a problem getting skilled labor. And speaking of skilled labor, the average worker in skilled labor is 55 years old, and the average skilled labor worker retires at 61. So that shows you we have a really old workforce, and we need to get some youth in the skilled labor business. On the mentorship side, I spoke to some drivers out of Austin, Texas last year about this time. We were in a conference with them, and they were talking about they have a mentorship going on. They were able to retain more drivers than ever before, and they talk to them about anything. They actually do some challenges where they set up obstacle courses. You're blindfolded, you have to go through the obstacle course, and you have to listen to that person who's mentoring you to get through that course. On the apprenticeship side, like I said, in maintenance, we've been struggling for many years, and maintenance is a really expensive side of the business. If you make a mistake, you put an alternator on the bus that doesn't need it, you just wasted $1,000. If you do that over and over, just one time a year, and you work in this business 25 years, that's $25,000 times every mechanic that's ever done that. So you need to diagnose the problem and fix it one time and make sure it doesn't come back. And I always ask the question, what is the difference between a mechanic and a technician? A mechanic can replace that part. A technician will figure out why that part failed before they replace it. So I can go on all day with numbers and statistics. I want to introduce David Polk from DWD. He started his career as an apprentice in the very beginning. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
How's everyone doing today?
Every day is a good day.
Good, good. This is a spectacular day for us at the Bureau of Apprenticeship Standards. Under the leadership of Secretary Pahacek, one of the large overarching things that she's directed us to do is not only work with the private sector in building new apprenticeships and building new pathways, but to also work agency to agency to build new pathways for the employment and workforce struggles that our sister agencies have. I do want to start out with a few shout outs to my team at BAS who has stayed the course working with MCTS to build this program. It has been an absolute labor of love to build this program, but it is a labor of love that we love.
If you're just joining us right now, we are watching a press conference with MCTS talking about their apprenticeship program. This is pretty huge. This event is a major milestone for Milwaukee County and Wisconsin. It establishes the first registered apprenticeship program for coach bus mechanics and bus operators. So we're about to hear from them in just a little bit. But basically, we just heard from who was it? It was David Polk, I believe it was. He was saying the average age of the workforce is 55 and folks retire at 61. So we're looking to get, younger talent in there. And this is huge, obviously, when it comes to giving pathways to long-term careers. So this is a really big thing happening right now. So just wanted to update you if you're coming in live. So I'm just going to get right back out to them in just a moment.
To keep in mind, I want you to be lifetime learners, because I never knew when I started my apprenticeship way back when, I'm not going to age myself during this speech, that I would later in my years direct the entire state for apprenticeship. I never fathomed that. So I want you all to be lifetime learners. The second thing that I want you to do is ensure that the apprentices that come behind you have a better experience earning while they learn than you did, because that's the only way that the apprenticeship circle goes around, by mentoring and training each other. So So as we continue on today, I'd like to bring my staff, Chuck Olson, to the stage. And on behalf of the state of Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development, we certify that the MCTS Coach Bus Mechanic and Coach Bus Operator programs meet the standards of Wisconsin apprenticeship and are today certified apprenticeship programs. So now we're going to welcome up our brand new apprentices, first apprentices in the state for these two programs, to sign your official Wisconsin apprenticeship contract. And on today, you have started your official registered apprenticeship.
Nice. Thank you, David. Go. All right, let's make it official, right? So what's going to happen, the apprentices will come around. They're going to grab their contract from Ben Stark. Kavithan's going to have the pen ready for them. They're going to come around here. So they've got a little table to sign it. So once they're all there for a photo, you can take a photo of them signing. After that, I'm going to ask the mentors to come up, because without mentors, there's no apprenticeship. Train them how to think, not what to think. And then if we need you for the third photo, pack it a little bit more to make it a little tighter up front, right? So everyone good? All right, so without any further ado, we're going to just introduce our apprentices as they come around, starting with our mechanics. Paul Olson leading off. Sharika Thomas. Robert Turner, the first of our coach operators. Excuse me, not Robert Turner, disregard. Felicity Armstrong will be first as our coach operators. Then we have Melinda Brock. On top, Ciola Clark. I think I got that one right. Joshua Claiborne. Adrian Flippin. One more over here. Richard Nichols. Okay. Richard should be good right there. Yep. Jatwan MacArthur. Najee Nelson. Okay. Back in a little bit there. Kenya Quazer. No. Quazer. Got it. Jaqueline Riley. Kenneth Taylor. Robert Turner. And Patrice Woodall. Ladies and gentlemen, the first bus coach, operator, mechanic, and operator apprentices in the state of Wisconsin. So you also got a pen. At this time, if y'all can open up your contract, you can set it on the table if it's easier and pull it out. And on the count of 3, we're going to have you sign. That way it'll look good for a photo, right? All right. Make sure everyone's ready, not blown away. All right. 1, 2, 3. Sign away.
There you go, with the stroke of a pen. That was the ceremonial apprenticeship signing right there. They're also going to get a presentation of toolboxes and gear. That's the inaugural class. So if you're just tuning in right now, this is part of Wisconsin's workforce strategy. There was just a press conference that was being held by county leaders and also those with MCTS. Just a way to help with innovation, job training, and strengthen the workforce environment, and trying to get some young talent in there. So this is kind of their entryway in, and a big congratulations. So we're going to have more details with that coming up on Fox 6 News, but that's a good way to go to a quick break.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
And welcome back to Wisconsin's Live Desk. Thanks for joining me today from 12:30 to 1:30. Not too bad, right? We got to learn a little bit about what's going on next with the judge situation with Jason Calvi. He was out there reporting what's going on with the policy. We just heard from MCTS about their apprenticeship program. Steph breaking down the weather. Lots going on today and every day. Once again, all across our city, the nation. Tune in to Wisconsin Live Desk, bringing it live.
With the first pick in the Blitz Sports Draft, it's Brandon Cruz. Tim Van Born here as well. Lily Zhao, otherwise occupied tonight. A little NBA playoff basketball downtown with the Bucks and the Indiana Pacers. We'll take care of you, take you through the next half hour talking about this Packers draft, where the Brewers start. We'll have a little Bucks update too, right? So
yes.
Get everything rolling. All right. Here's the starting lineup. Golden weekend for the city of Green Bay, no question about it, and the Packers draftees. Plus, the selection process is a highlight in the life of Brian. A tough new Packer shows his softer side and say what? And we go retro for our high school hotshot. And oh yeah, it could be a cruel summer for the Brewers if they don't tighten up their play. You couldn't really script it any better. Matthew Golden is in Green Bay for the Packers to pick a wide receiver in the first round for the first time in over 2 decades. And that's not the only Packer in town for the draft. I mean, everything fell together. Weather, fans,